I'm Heinrich Hafeni. I was born in Walvish Bay exactly 37 years ago. When we gained independence, I was 8 years old. I grew up in Mondesa. My mother would become my greatest inspiration. She was a domestic worker in the morning, and at night she's an adult literacy teacher. As the firstborn of 5 children, I will be greatly inspired by the work ethic that my mother had and what she has to do to make sure that we have food on the table. My grandmother will work in the south as a cleaner at IAS Hot Spring, and she will be making sure that her child, my mother, had a shelter, which is the home we live today. The reason why these 2 women are my heroes, there was no fathers in our house. As a young man, I will look at them and I will be inspired and say, I will be the man. And I wanted to grow up very fast and become the family provider at a tender age. Fast forward, when I was 17 years old, in 1999, I failed grade 10. And I got an opportunity while I go to NAMCO. Obviously, once you fail, you have to get a NAMCO. And at the same time, there was an opportunity for me as a youngster to learn to go look for work so that I can also help my mother and be the provider. And that's when my introduction into the tourism industry started. I went back to formal school when I passed my NAMCO. The aim was to just finish grade 12. Necessarily, I wasn't an academic. I didn't see myself as such. But while I'm still at the formal school, I was still inspired to go work and still earn $1 and be still the provider. And my mom will obviously not work as much as she used to, as my salary would be her salary. Fast forward, it became, I finished school, I became a waiter, and I wanted to climb up the ladder of the tourism. Got an opportunity to work in Africa, East and Southern Africa, traveling around 14 countries. A platform that will give me an opportunity to see much of my continent. A platform that will expose me to the global, people from all walks of life, and I got to learn a lot from them. And something I haven't mentioned is that when I was young, as a 16-year-old, our role models in the community will only be gangsters or criminals. I mean, there was no positive role models that we look up to. Obviously, as a kid, you don't know better, and one tends to follow in those footsteps. That's why I said my mother will discipline me very well, and I think as a result, she only wanted me to become a better citizen of this beautiful country. She looked at growing up in Mondesa, the dusty streets of Mondesa. There was not much. We'd play with one another. There was no television. Only after independence we started to get electricity. But that's just a childhood. But that childhood, obviously, as I progressed, I went to work, and all of us, as we were growing up, our dream was I want to go work. Not necessarily to become a businessman, because that's not you were taught as you grew up. And you watch a documentary on NBC of a businessman from Greek, Aristotle Onassis, a businessman. And I remember back then I said, I want to be like that man one day. But obviously not as a shipping magnate. Obviously tourism was now introduced to me, and I realized that I'm going to start my business in the tourism industry. Today, 8 years ago, I started my dream to become a contemporary of my time, to live an employed lifestyle, and to become a job creator by starting the Hafeni Tourism Namibia, an organization that strictly specializes in townships around Namibia. I started in Mondesa doing township tours, taking tourists into Mondesa. And at the same time, I've realized, and I think it's from experiences when I was in Africa, that many of the tourists are looking forward to a real Namibian experience. They wanted to interact with the local communities. They wanted to, as much as they see the beautiful cosmopolitan part of our Namibia, they also wanted to go to the grassroots of the beaten track. And I said, that's what I wanted to do. Obviously, tourism in Namibia is, if you start doing safaris, majority of most of the tour operators are doing safaris already, it's already overcrowded. But I believe that I have an advantage by being a township tourism operator. But I also believe that doing the township tours was not just the eat. I, saw that I'm best with like cappuccino, bacon, and eggs. Every time from Mondesa, I would love to go to town to get my cup of coffee or have bacon and eggs. And I always ask and say, why can the community where I'm from, why can we not have cappuccino, bacon, and eggs? And why can we not make the township more attractive? Why do we have one side of town that is nice and the other side of town is not nice? So I wanted to be on the forefront in opening up the townships to become an attractive destination and not to be known as just an informal. And the car wash and the coffee shop, what's called the spaza shops, and I wanted to bring in an identity through tourism. And Hafeni Tours, obviously, we have an impact in the community. By conducting our tours, we touch different parts of the community and people through tourism. Whether it's from the informal market, where we buy the traditional food that we operate in our traditional restaurant from the local ladies. 60% of our products come from this local woman. By going to the home visit of a rural woman who looks after needy children or daycare in a wooden house, a ghetto. And we say that pay an entrance fee to get into that house. Or empowering women in the informal settlement in DRC by starting up a craft center due to the high unemployment rate within those community. And instead of us driving through those community and not having a positive impact, I said that I want to build an organization that has a positive impact in the community. I want together, obviously the I is not really about me, but I want to be able to take you, say it starts with you. One man, one woman, with a great desire and a great dream of what he or she believes. It's very powerful. I believe truly believe I'm one of those people. And when I started in 2011, I realized that I only have a grade 12 with 14 points. And now I've embarked on a journey that I call the greatest journey of my life. And that is to become a great contemporary. And I needed extra education in business. I went through University Business School, did entrepreneurship. I decided I wanted international exposure. I applied to be part of the Fellowship of Leadership in Germany in Zealand, and I was one of the 9 young leaders from Namibia that went in 2013. I saw an opportunity in 2014 with the Barack Obama Young African Leader Initiative. I said, wow, it says leadership. I want to go there. Obviously, in 2014 I didn't make it, but I was still motivated that the next following year, I'm going to go to this American fellowship. In 2015, I became a Mandela Washington Fellow, based in Atlanta, did business and entrepreneurship and leadership. In 2015, as a result of my continued work, I was inducted in the Namibian Business Hall of Fame. But that's personal education. For you to be great, you need to be part and parcel. You need to have this willingness to learn from different areas of the community. I did a lot, I participated a lot. I was an entrepreneur, I was a social youth activist, I was a chamber chairperson. And if you ask me, how did you run your own business? For 4 years being the head of the Chamber of Commerce in Swakopmund. And remember, those are the infant and most important time of your business. And but I somehow managed. But the aim is to say, it's not about just running a business. It's about, there's a story. It's an inner passion. I could be somewhere in an overseas country. I could be still working in Africa as a safari guide. Beautiful, meeting wonderful people, traveling, getting paid. That was not a fulfillment for me. I felt like my story is in Namibia. I remember being in Canada in 2014, or around there, not 2014, sorry, 2008. And I said, okay, I love the lifestyle. I like everything about it. But I'm just another number. But if I go to Namibia, I can become the extraordinary number of Namibia. I can sing one song and I can appear in the front page of the Namibian. But if I'm overseas or in any other country, I cannot do that. So Namibia has always been an inspiration for me. Tourism is one of the most powerful tools we can use to change our communities. And through the Hafeni Tourism, we are just doing that. Currently, if you go into Mondesa Township, in 2014 I opened up the Hafeni traditional restaurant in the backyard of my grandmother's house. Why? As a young man with a dream to bring about a nice restaurant in my community. Obviously, everybody loves a Jew and give you a little Lord no, but I was motivated to say, I'm going to start anyway while I start on. That's the only traditional restaurant we have in Mondesa, if you look into it. I decided that I'm going to go into Wellfish Bay, Quissamon Township. If you go into Quissamon Township, you'll see a building, orange, yellow building, double story. It's probably the only place that you can stay and experience the real Namibia. But it's a township. Eat, sleep, and travel. Building an all-inclusive tourism organization in Namibia. Looking at all the townships around the country, starting from and changing the face of our communities. If you look around, this dream started off with a taxi when I started off. And later on, I got my first Thoroughbred Combi 1963 model. And from there on, I started building. And I said, I'm still today motivated to build one of the greatest tourism township company in Namibia. And I said, it's not about me. I am just an example of what many others can become. I am participating, and when people see Heinrich Hafeni, and like, it's a guy on social media. And I was like, okay, it's not about social media. I'm really, really serious and interested about becoming not just a social media person, but an achiever with a social impact that's building and developing a community. Community is my passion. And then I was that we have young people in our country, very smart. And if young people can unite together and say that, Heinrich Hafeni, I want to hold hands with you and grow that big dream. The dream is big. I have a national dream. I have an African dream. Obviously, at the TEDx, I'm not able to narrate it the way you might want or obviously that's another opportunity tomorrow. When you look at this, it's from Mondesa. My mother became the inspiration. I always say that. But the rest, God took over and say, this is your journey. I don't know how to explain it. Today, newspaper, my media friends are here. They put up, it's big, 15 million. Goodness. Hafeni, do you have that money? I said, I don't have that money, but it's not the money that motivates me. I am showing it to you, and I said, yes, it's possible. I don't have that money, but I have the dream. I have the foresight. 2 years from now, we can maybe have a conversation. This is what young African men must deliver, must believe that they can. No matter where you come from, you can be the ultimate champion of your community. I am an embodiment, and I will be an embodiment of that spirit. And having an opportunity, and I think I'm a child of this community. Everybody saw me from this community. And Mandela once said, it always seems impossible until it's done. Powerful. One man with a dream. One woman with a dream. I'm not here to talk to you because I want to talk to you. I'm here because I believe so, that I am the real deal of my time. And I believe that together we can be able to tell good, beautiful stories of our community. Township tour, I'm passionate about tourism. It's not just about township tour. All tourism in general, that we can become the custodians of what our communities can become. It's not just about Mondesa, it's about Samaraskia, it's about Benita, it's about our community. And if we can use our God-given talent to enhance and deliver our people from point A to point B, where B is the better place, we will have done justice to our beautiful nation. Thank you.